Dear third prep, today we will explain a new lesson, which is Unit 5, Lesson 5. It's Mizdaig with you today. Our lesson is the slope. The slope of straight line is the shape of the straight line, how we draw the straight line or what the straight line looks like. I can draw a straight line with a slope like this, or a straight line with a slope to the other direction like this, or a horizontal straight line or vertical straight line. Each straight line has a different slope. We use the slope in making bridges, stairs, or inclined road. For example, what is the slope? The slope here of a straight line, if we consider we have a straight line like this, passing through 2 points, A and B. A here is the ordered pair 2 and 2. B here is the ordered pair 4 and 5. The change of X here is 2 units. The change of Y is 3 units. So I can say that the slope is the change of Y over the change of X. The point A was 2 and 2, became or moved till the point B 4 and 5. So the change of Y, it was 2, became 5. It was 3. The change of X, it was 2, became 4. So it's 2. So I can say that the slope here is 3 over 2. The change of the point from moving from A to B. For example, if A is 2 and 2 and B is 4 and 5, we will find that if this is x1, y1 and the other point is x2, y2, I can say that the slope is the change of y, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equal 5 minus 2 over 4 minus 2 equal 3 over 2. And this is our rule for calculating the slope using a 2-point passing through the straight line. I have another rule of the slope. If you notice here, the change of y, which is this line, this is the change of x. We studied this before in the trigonometry, which if I say that this angle, for example, is theta, this change of y is the opposite, and change of x is the adjacent. So I can say that the slope is tan theta. Or this is another rule, if you know the angle made by this line with the positive direction of x-axis. For example, find the slope of straight line passing through each pair of points in the following. Number 1, I have 2 points, 2 and 4, 4 and 5, and I want to calculate the slope. If I say that this is x1, y1, and the other point is x2, y2, to calculate the slope, which is generated by m, we make y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is 5 minus 4 over 4 minus 2 equal half. We have to start with y, and we have to start with the same point up and down. If I started with this point, I make 4 minus 5, and down is 4 minus 2. Again, to calculate the slope between these 2 points, slope here is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We make 2 minus 3 over 4 minus 1 equal negative 1 over 3. Again, to calculate this slope using the same rule, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, we will find that negative 3 minus negative 3 over negative 4 minus negative 2, it will be 0. The last example with 3 and 1, 3 and 0, if we make 0 minus 1 over 3 minus 3, it will be negative 1 over 0, which is undefined. We have taken this rule before in second prep. We have taken all the shapes or all the types of straight line. I have 4 different slopes. It could be positive, negative, 0, or undefined, and we will talk about this later. So you have to know that the slope could be positive number, it could be negative number, it could be fraction, it could be a whole number, it could be 0 or undefined. For example, If he used the new rule, which is we studied this year when we studied the trigonometry, to calculate the slope of a straight line, if we know its angle, the angle made by this straight line and the positive direction of x-axis. If this angle is 45, to calculate the slope here, we use the other rule, which is tan theta equal tan 45 equal 1. Another example, to find the slope, we use tan the angle equals negative 1.469. For example, another one, find the measure of the positive angles theta, which is the straight line makes with the positive direction of x-axis, the slope of the straight line. He gave you here the slope and he wants to know the measure of the angle made by this straight line and the positive direction of x-axis. So we use the other rule we took in the trigonometry. To find the angle, we make shift tan the slope equal shift tan to 1.486. The angle will be written in its circular form, 56 degrees 3 minutes and 41 seconds. Another example, to calculate the theta or the measure of the angle, we make tan shift tan the slope equal shift tan to negative 1 over 3 equal 150 degrees. Another example, find the measure of the positive angle theta, which the straight line makes with the positive direction of x-axis if the straight line L passing through the 2 points do. Here, we said in the last example that to find the angle, I have to make shift tan the slope. Here I don't have the slope, I have to find it first, then find the angle. So we will find the slope using our rule y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The slope here is root 3. Now I can find the angle using shift tan the slope equal shift tan root 3 equals 60 degrees. Again, if I have 2 points, so I have to use the rule of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to find the slope. The slope here is 4 minus 3 over negative 3 minus negative 2 equals 1. Negative 1. So the theta here, shift tan the slope, equal 135 degrees. Now, as we said before, you can find that the slope is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. These 4 slopes make 4 different shapes of straight lines. If this straight line looks like this, or this is slope in this direction, the slope here is positive, and theta here made with the positive direction of x-axis will be acute. And if the straight line in the other direction this form, we will find that this slope will be negative, and theta, which is this angle with the positive direction, not in the positive part. You have to concentrate. Positive direction of x is this line, the straight line is this line, so I want the angle between them. So you will find that the angle here is obtuse. As we said, as we see in the last example, that the negative slope gives you an obtuse angle. Shift tan to negative 1 equal 135 degrees. I have another form of the straight line which is parallel to y-axis. The slope here is undefined. Why undefined? Because we find that x1 is the same as x2. So when I make y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, which are the same number, it will be number over 0 and this undefined slope. And we will take the equation vice versa, that he will give you the undefined slope and you consider that x1 is equal to x2. The last figure is the line which is parallel to x-axis or the horizontal line. Its slope here is 0 because y1 is equal to y2. So when you make y minus y, which they are the same number, it will give you 0 over a number equal to 0. Now, see that the question come in this form. If the straight line AB parallel to y-axis. So if I have a straight line parallel to y-axis, the slope here is undefined. Why undefined? Because x1 there equal to x2 in the other point. So I will find that x1 to equal to x2, so x here is equal to 3. Again, for example, if I have straight line CD parallel to x-axis, horizontal line parallel to x-axis, the slope here is 0. Why? Because y1 is equal to y2. So here, if the point 4 and 2 and the other point negative 5 and y, so if it's parallel to x-axis, it must be y1 equal to y2, so y here is equal to from the other point. Now we have the relation between two straight lines, or the relation of the slopes of two straight lines. We have two different the relation between two straight lines. I have the parallel lines, which looks like this. Both of them have the same angle with the positive direction of x-axis. So I can say that if line 1 is parallel to line 2, then their slopes are equal because both of them makes the same angle with the positive direction of x-axis. For example, he will give you a question like this. Prove that the straight line which passes through the 2 points 2, 3 and negative 1, 6 is parallel to straight line which makes with the positive direction of the x-axis an angle 135 degrees. I have here two different straight lines. One of them passing through 2 points and the other makes angle with the positive direction of x-axis. So to prove that they are parallel, I have to find their slopes. I have two different given. One of them, it gives you 2 points, so I have to use the rule which is y1 minus y2 equal x1 minus x2. So I will make 6 minus 3 over negative 1 minus 2 equal negative 1. The other straight line, the given here is an angle with the positive direction of x-axis. So I have to find this slope, which is m2 of the other straight line. I can use the rule of tan 135 equal negative 1. If you notice here that you will find the m1 is equal to m2, so the straight line are parallel. So if you have two equal slopes, so you have two parallel straight lines and vice versa. If you have two parallel straight lines, so their slopes, it must be equal. The other relation between two lines, the perpendicular lines. If I have two perpendicular lines, I will find that the product of their slope is equal to negative 1. When I make m1 times m2, it must be equal to negative 1. For example, again, he wants to prove that the two straight lines, one of them passing through the 2 points negative 1, 4 and 3, 7 is perpendicular to straight line, another straight line passes through another 2 points 4, 3, negative 3 and 1 and 1. I will make the same steps. I have to find their slopes, and if you found that their product of their slopes equal to negative 1, so these two straight lines are perpendicular. So you have here two rules. If you have two parallel straight lines, their slopes are equal. If you have two perpendicular straight lines, the product of their slopes, it has to be equal to negative 1. Now I will use the rule of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 because the given here is 2 points. So I use the rule according to the given. If he gives you 2 points, I will use the rule of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And if he gives you the Angle, I will use the other rule, which is tan theta. So here I will make 4 minus 7 over negative 1 minus 3 equals 3/4. The other straight line, or the second one, L2, I will find M2. The other slope equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equal negative 4 over 3. Here, I will make M1 times M2. So I will make 3/4 times negative 4 over 3 equal negative 1. If you found that the product of the slopes equal negative 1, so I can say that the two straight lines here are perpendicular. And this is our lesson today. Thank you very much. It was helpful for you.